Welcome to R&R Showtime with Robert
and Ryan.
And today we will be discussing What If episodes 5 and 6.
Indeed. What if zombies and what if Kilmonger rescued Tony Stark?
Kilmonger. Yeah, cool. So first impressions?
So I thought zombies was super cool, and it was probably my favorite episode. And then my brother told me something that kind of ruined the ending for me. And so
that is false. I told you that I heard of something that ruined the ending for me.
No, but you then said it, and it ruined your surprise of the ending. But that knowledge made the ending bad to me. So you told me something that made me think the ending wasn't as good as I thought it was.
Oh.
You informed me of something, which, I mean, I could have heard anywhere, but
I did not say what it was, though.
You said, you told me, well, we will get to this later, but you said to me after the ending had already occurred, like I ended the episode, I was like, this is a good episode. And then you shared something to me that made me like the episode less because of the ending.
Well, yeah, never mind. Sorry, I thought in my head that I spoiled it for you, but now I actually
did not spoil it for me.
I know I didn't spoil it because we watched it together.
Yeah.
But I had the ending spoiled for me.
Yes.
Because somebody asked a question that spoiled it, but also changes, like makes the ending whatever. We'll get into it, I guess.
Yes.
So,
but yeah, I still think it's a good episode. It's one of those things where it's like Marvel Zombies, the expectations honestly are kind of set high because that's just a cool concept. And I think it succeeded in a few ways. And there are definitely parts of it where I was just like, this is kind of dumb. But as a total package, it was just kind of so cool to watch that I was into it. I think I like the cast. I think the cast is what helps it.
Marvel Zombies for me was just not quite what I expected, I guess. I mean, I don't want to say that my expectations were very high because like here's it, basically like my impression of the episode that it was pretty good, but it's definitely not my favorite. It's actually probably more like, near the middle. I don't know. And I've heard a lot of people say they really liked it, and I think part of me expected to like it more, but I didn't have high expectations for it. I'm not like that enamored with. I feel like there was a time and period for some of us where zombies were really, really cool. Like it was like, oh my god, zombie survival guide, and like The Walking Dead was coming out, like like 10 years ago or something.
Yes.
But now I'm just like, all right, zombies are. I mean, they're cool. But like they're not like that big a deal anymore.
Look, honestly, I don't really care that much about zombies either. But when we get into the episode, I think I'm going to key on the thing that makes me like the episode, and it's a very simple thing. And in fact, I'll say it right now. I like Spider-Man. So you put Spider-Man in something, I'm going to like the episode more.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's definitely got a lot of cool merits, but maybe it just wasn't quite what I was expecting. So it's not my favorite episode, but it's still good. Every episode of What If has been good.
Can I just say this is the one episode where I was like, this should have not been an episode of What If. This should have been something longer. This should have been some special episode of What If, because it being less than an hour made everything feel so rushed. Like the fact that you see zombie Iron Man like in like the first few minutes, and he's taken care of like that by freaking the Wasp, and you're just like, oh, okay. It was cool to see that while I got to see it, but now it's just not a thing for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, I could actually see what you're saying. They were like making sure we saw as many people as could be important or relevant to a Marvel Zombies thing. They were just like, oh, look, it's that guy too, and him, her, and they're dead like instantly, like, which makes sense because it's not like they're fully. I mean, apparently the zombie forms of people, because it is now the one thing I said to myself was like, if these guys are zombies, why are they so smart and stuff? Why can they use their powers? And I was like, well, it's not quite like the zombie virus we'd imagine. It's like a quantum virus.
Yes,
that basically zombifies people.
Yes.
So I was like, okay, that gives me room to totally believe that like they retain a little bit of their, knowledge of the things they could do and stuff.
So I think we are getting a little too into the zombies already. Let's do the first impressions on the Killmonger one.
I really liked that one. It was sick.
I think it was quite good. Again, though, I think the ending leaves a bit to be desired, and it has one sort of glaring. I feel like it's the one episode so far where the not getting the original voice actor really hurt the episode as a whole for me personally.
Yeah, this was definitely an episode where it was really just like, like multiple voice actors were very noticeable that it wasn't them. So,
Yes.
But I like this one.
It's a good,
it was cool.
It's a good episode, I'd say. Yeah.
I liked it. I mean, just straight up, I liked it because we got to see like Killmonger just really executing and being a great villain.
That's really it. Yeah.
And that's why, like, this is an episode about him, and I enjoyed that, like, because I think he's a cool villain, and like I wish he had not died in his movie. I think it was poetic that he died in his movie, and it was like a good and fine ending. But I would have liked to have seen him more.
Also, how cool is it that this is the third time we've seen T'Challa in an episode, and there have been 6 episodes. He is in half of the episodes of What If.
Yeah,
like he's really getting his final, like they're giving him what he deserves to, just even if it's in little bit parts. It's cool.
Yeah, I mean, well, nobody. They recorded all this prior to anybody even knowing anything was going on with them. So it's like
I'm guessing Disney knew, and that's why they were banking a lot of stuff with him.
You'd think, because if I was a company and I knew that one of my main actors might pass away, I would actually make less things, because then you might not be able to finish stuff.
Well,
as a hedge, like a business wise, like straight up, hey, giving them stuff. But I think they just had all that voiceover stuff done, and it was just like, well, great. Glad that
he'd been battling with it for a while, and I'm pretty sure like he was letting people be aware. And look, Disney lost the hedged bet of not investing enough in a person that was already made. Like, so they have the Leia thing. When Carrie Fisher died, it kind of screwed over everything for them. Like The Last Jedi was probably already pretty much done, but Rise of Skywalker, a big piece of why that movie doesn't work is because that movie was basically meant to be focused around Leia. And this time Disney was like, okay, we know that there's a chance we could lose this star. Let's get more of them now so that we can try to utilize more of this person.
I don't know if I agree with that premise, but
I'm pretty sure
I'm
pretty sure Chadwick Boseman like very enthusiastically signed on for this because he knew, at the very least.
Yeah, that's plausible.
And the fact that they got him like over a year ago now, like recording this stuff, which I know it takes a while for the animation in general, but like, yeah, I think I'm pretty sure they were aware. But enough of the digression. Let's get into What If Zombies.
Yeah, especially how they really did. I'm just saying, I do think that they were banking on the idea that some people really think zombies are cool, because they didn't say, what if a quantum virus infected? No, they were like, literally, what if zombies? That's it.
Question mark, exclamation mark.
Yeah. Just zombies. What if zombies happen?
Zombies?
Because, everybody likes zombies. Whoa. Not really. That was 10 years ago.
But they're cool-ish. When they're superhero zombies, that's kind of cool. Anyways,
in my opinion, the zombie trend has been played out and it's over.
Recap of the episode. So this actually puts things in order of when they happen, not in order of when we see them. So Hank Pym finds Janet Van Dyne in the quantum realm, and she infects him with a quantum virus. They return to Earth and cause a zombie apocalypse. And so Hank and Janet are in the first two infected, and then they get Scott, Ant-Man, infected with it as well. But Hope manages to escape, and we see her come back. They return. 2 weeks later, a group of survivors, Bruce Banner, who at this point is being basically got the Heimdall down to Earth to spread the warning message about Thanos, and he gets down there, and the children of Thanos, like the Dark Ones or whatever they're called, they start showing up, and Bruce Banner's all alone, and he's like kind of screwed. But then Iron Man shows up, and we also see portals. So like Doctor Strange is here, and Wong is here, and they start doing stuff, and they're like, "Oh, cool, Iron Man and Doctor Strange, they're gonna save the day." Wait a minute, what are they doing? Are they eating a person? That seems a bit much. And it's revealed that Doctor Strange and Iron Man are zombies. Whoa.
Yeah. I will say that it does stretch my imagination a little bit when it's like, okay, Iron Man using a suit, no problem. Captain America being strong, no problem. Like, but it starts to stretch some, like, even I don't know, it just stretches
the zombie magic.
So I keep repeating myself. It stretches my imagination. Yeah, when Doctor Strange and Wong can still do their magic, and it's not like a magic that just comes out of them. It's not like natural. It's not just like they just make it happen or anything, like with their minds. They have to like focus. It's definitely we see it in Doctor Strange that they have to focus to do their magic. Like they have to picture things in their mind to create the portals and stuff. So I'm like, all right, whatever. It works though.
Quantum virus,
it works.
But
when I was watching the episode, I'm criticizing it now. But when I was watching the episode, I certainly wasn't being like, this doesn't make any sense. I was just taking it in. I was just enjoying it for what it was.
Yeah, I think that is a fair thing. But out of nowhere, Hope saves the day and kills Doctor Strange, Wong, and Iron Man really without trying. Like pretty viciously, and it kind of makes you think like, wow, the Wasp really just did that. I mean, I guess they're zombies, but like,
I mean, we got a perfect.
What if is showing that Ant-Man and the Wasp are the strongest Marvel characters?
Yeah, I mean, like, because if you don't see them coming, then they can just like cut your head off and shit. Like, I mean, we already got that in the episode 3, I think it was, where it was like, what if Earth's Mightiest Heroes fell. And Yellow Jacket or
Hank Pym
in his own thing, like took out all the he took out the Hulk from the inside. He went inside of his he shot it into his arm before he turned into the Hulk, before he was impenetrable, and threw a freaking disc at his heart. Like, I mean, they are potentially the most fucking dangerous. But I mean, you could say that about almost anybody if you put them in the right circumstance. So they all have just godlike powers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but like this What If show is definitely just like certain superheroes are a lot more powerful when we want them to be.
Yeah,
in this cartoon world. But so Bruce joins the survivors batch of Hope, Peter Parker. The Cloak of Levitation is given its own spot. Bucky Barnes, Okoye, Sharon Carter, Happy Hogan, and Kurt. And so can I just say that when it shows Sharon Carter, there was a long while where I didn't recognize that it was Sharon Carter. And I think it's like mostly because like I just saw her and I was just like, this is not someone I immediately recognize. I don't really care.
Yeah, I mean, it was whatever. I mean, they said her name, so I was like,
they say her name at some point. I was like, oh, okay, that's Sharon.
Yeah, I think they say it like pretty early. They say Sharon.
No,
they Sharon,
they do. But like like my brain didn't even process that it was her. I'm like, of all the people, like I get it. It makes sense, I guess. But like,
Yeah.
Yeah. And they learn there's a potential cure at a camp. On their way, they lose Hogan, Happy, and Sharon, and Hope to zombie attacks. I think the whole sequence in the train in general, I think, is really cool. Like like them splitting up. First of all, turning out to be a bad decision because of course it is.
Yeah, he even said, I like that he even says it. He's just like, have you guys not even seen a zombie movie? Like, and they're like, yeah, have you guys not seen any movie? You don't ever split up. You are better in numbers when you can all help each other not die. Like, what one person against 30 zombies is like a death sentence. 5 people against 30 zombies is you could survive. Like, nonetheless, I want to point out a couple inconsistencies while we're like kind of moving through this chronological sort of order here. There's a flashback, right, and it shows all of the Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the Avengers getting taken down, and it shows it kind of starts with Hank, tiny form, jumps onto Captain America's neck and bites his neck, right? Mm-hmm. So it infects him. And then Hank gets large sized, like or regular sized, and it attacks them as well. And then they're just overwhelmed, right? And I was like, well, this is dumb. I was like, this is not like they wouldn't just like drop in. Okay, granted, like Captain America could definitely just get bitten by tiny Hank, no problem. Yeah. Like that could just happen to anybody. All of them could have gotten bitten like that, right? But there's no way they just got surrounded and overwhelmed by zombies. Like what the hell is this? Like this again, this is a movie that we know This is a universe we know that canonically has zombie movies in it. Now, granted, a bunch of the people in Avengers, maybe they didn't watch TV shows and movies and stuff, but there's no way that they just drop in there and it's like, oh God, guys, we're being overwhelmed by these zombies here.
Honestly, it's funny that this is your gripe with this scene. My bigger gripe with the scene is like, this is pre-Infinity War, post-Civil War. How the hell did they come back together so quickly? And then like how did this work out? Like we're just supposed to just accept that it just works.
Yeah. Also, so that you bring that up, and I had another very similar point to make as well. So I just wanted to bring up, there's no way that they get overwhelmed by zombies. And even so, 1, they don't get overwhelmed by zombies. 2, even if Hank bites all of them while he's tiny, make sure they're all going to turn into zombies. I think they all get the point that they might turn into it, and they don't let themselves turn into zombies because they would probably go, wow, the kind of power that would be wielded if we all turn into zombies would be really bad. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. Let's just boom, like put ourselves out or something. Or just put in some extra effort to figure out the cure or whatever. Nonetheless, I don't think they just turn into zombies, but it's way cooler that they do. So moving on.
Yeah.
Another point though, in the same line as this doesn't make sense. This is inconsistent, right? Why is Iron Man fighting with Captain America? The only change we know here is that
the zombie thing happened.
Yeah, the zombie thing happened, right? So we can assume everything else is the same. Okoye tells Bucky after he has to kill Sam, he's like, I'm sorry, I know he was your friend. This is a reference to Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Sorry, not, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Captain America's Winter Soldier. That's a reference to that. They were not friends. They were only barely friends at the end of that. They became friends through that process.
So,
and they were not friends before. They just kind of knew each other
through Captain America.
Yeah, because he was friends with Sam, and he was.
I had the same thought, and in my brain, I was like, they interact somewhat in Civil War, I guess. But yeah, now when you really think about it, Bucky was in Civil War, and then has been in Wakanda this whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it makes there's no reason or any sense to her saying, I know he was your friend. He was not your friend. Like that's just false.
And quite frankly, this is why I actually believe that Bucky and Okoye surviving makes sense, because they are coming from Wakanda, which is a safe haven.
Yeah,
as established.
Yeah, they came to find T'Challa, who came here.
I already brought up that Sharon was a weird, interesting choice of someone to live, but let's really think about it. Sharon Carter and Happy Hogan, why are they still alive? Why?
I don't know. If we try to kind of put some stuff in here, there could have been some sort of assembling of the Avengers, right? An assembling of all the hero types, like something major is happening. All of us assemble. I'm just giving you my best thing. They assemble, right? So Iron Man gets there. Sharon's like in cahoots with maybe here's actually let's try and put the pieces together, right? The zombie threat is so major and big that literally Happy working as an intermediary with Shannon bring together Iron Man and Captain America.
Sharon is in prison.
She is in prison. Okay, I don't actually understand that. Never mind.
Yeah.
But they're
Sharon's in prison. Right
not,
here, Sharon is in prison. Like fully, Civil War has happened. She has not been released. The blip hasn't happened yet. She hasn't gotten out. All
right, never mind. All my theory.
Now I think about it, though, Happy Hogan does make sense because maybe Peter saved him.
Yeah. So yeah, like I was just thinking of like some idea of like these people are all connected to those heroes. That is an excellent point. Why is he there at all? He doesn't know any of those people.
I read his name and I legit could not remember who this person was.
I knew who he was and I didn't understand why he was there either.
In watching the show, I recognized him. Mm-hmm. And they really go on the Baba Yaga thing, which we haven't gotten to that point, but like if you didn't remember who he was, him saying Baba Yaga is like, oh yeah, I saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah. Again, the only thing I can think is that they were all just sort of related to our characters, and because of this zombie threat, like it changed how these people reacted and kind of brought them together. And once like the world was once the Avengers were like taken out, they assembled together to, you know, as a force for whatever putting their abilities to use. So I'll kind of let that go. But you actually made a fantastic point. There is practically no reason these people should have just happened up together. We'll just assume, though, that there is a reason that they end up together.
Yeah.
But there is no reason that like there is nothing that explains why she would say you were friends with Sam. They did not become friends in the weeks it took between zombies. Like there's just no reason. That's a reference to Falcon and Winter Soldier, and it's not consistent and it's dumb. Like
yeah,
you know, like
honestly, the more we break down this episode, the worse it gets. But I still think I found it enjoyable. And this train sequence in particular, like Hawkeye, I think generally speaking, seems to work better as a villain. Like when he's like brainwashed in Avengers, that makes him a cooler person. When he's Ronin, I think he's a little cooler than he is as Hawkeye. Mm-hmm. And in this, like, I'm actually like a little nervous about him because he's like he could just take out any of these people from anywhere. And then is there anyone else like when they're in the train station? Any other notable ones? All I'm remembering is Hawkeye.
Hawkeye and Falcon.
Yeah, Falcon.
Yeah, that's what I was referencing.
I forgot Falcon was there.
Yeah, that's why I was referencing Bucky and him fighting. Bucky ends up having sorry, Bucky just kills him. He ends up being the one that kills him. Or he's not the one that ends up killing him. He fights him off when they gets back, and then Okoye is the one that he literally slices him in half.
Yeah,
which was kind of it's sick to see how they straight murder him like you would see zombies usually get murdered, like and just ridiculous, like completely splattered, sliced in half ways. Which is a juxtaposition because heroes never die that way. They always like die like, you know, like damaged and battered, but like their bodies don't just get like completely annihilated like that. So it's just like just like literally sliced fully in half Falcon. Like that is just it seems brutal.
Yeah.
Or like I think Hawkeye got like ran over by the train, right?
I think so.
Yeah. I think that's what happened to him.
But yeah, then the train starts and they're on the train, and at this point we've only lost Happy. But then we get I believe Steve. Is there someone else other than Steve that shows up as a zombie in this part?
Nope.
Which let's be real, Bucky fighting zombie Captain America, cool. I enjoy watching that.
Yeah.
But yeah, Sharon's out and Hope gets scratchy scratch, and sad. Hope's gonna die. And then the train gets to a certain point outside the camp where they like actually get stopped by the zombie horde, and there's no way for them to make it. But then they come up with the brilliant idea of Hope keeping the suit on as she's about to be succumb to the zombiness to go big and walk them. And I'm like, you know what? This kind of makes sense, I guess, to get them there, because that's what the narrative is asking for. But I'm sorry, we've already seen how powerful the Wasp and Ant-Man suits are at spreading this virus. why can't anybody else put the suit on and do the exact same thing?
Yeah, put Banner in the fucking suit and be like, this is how it works, yo. Oh, I guess, I mean, there is training that's required, but it's like, okay, we just need you to get, okay, I will give extra couple reasons. Now I'm breaking it down in my head here. One,
so take her out of the suit.
Yeah. Yes.
I'm sorry. Her potential danger as a zombie in that suit is way more than them maybe making it to this camp.
Or just simple as this. As soon as she drops you guys off, dome her. Fucking just bam, blast her fucking brain out and make sure that that's not happening. I know it's hard, guys, but is it worse than letting her get back up as a literal giant zombie?
Yeah.
And I literally saw it coming. I literally was like, oh, so you guys just let her fall there? And so now she's going to come back as a giant zombie. All right, so, all right, great. Nice job tying up loose ends there, buddies.
Spider-Man can still do the web thing in like, unless he's out of his webs or whatever, but we've already seen him using the webs. Why can't Spider-Man just like fling them over? I don't know.
There is other ways to get across.
They get to the camp. The zombies don't want to set foot on the camp. And it's because of Vision. Vision is revealed to be here. And it's like, cool. And he has Paul Rudd, but not Paul Rudd's head in a glass jar. And it's quirky and fun. And he says, and little Ant-Man literally says not a single funny thing, despite everything he says being some sort of joke.
Oh, what are you talking about? I thought everything he said was hilarious, but
really?
I love that.
I don't know. It was the least funny I've ever found Ant-Man. Like he said like one or two things that were like so corny it was funny, but like honestly it was just a lot of wow, dude, read the room.
I honestly found it very amusing, but I think jokes like that are amusing. So,
and but why is he kept as a head in a jar though? It's just weird. And then
it is rather odd. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. It's like, oh, I was able to bring back Scott Lang's head. I'm like, so you have a technology that can not only reverse the zombie thing, but also apparently keep fucking zombified like head, like you have a head keeping alive thing.
Also,
so you're saying we could have not killed our friends and just gotten this fucking cure and made sure that they stayed alive or whatever. Like what it's telling me is that they could have literally reversed all their friends back into being alive again.
Yeah,
because Scott would be basically like, not patient 0, but patient 3. Patient 2. He's the second guy to return, so he's had the longest amount of time to be a zombie, and he went fully back into head. I'm like, so this thing will literally turn people from a zombie back into being human again.
But Vision likes Wanda, and it's revealed that Wanda's a zombie, and this is where Kurt dies with the Baba Yaga joke. And I think this is the other aspect of the episode. Like, I like Spider-Man, but quite frankly, zombie Scarlet Witch, I think, is the coolest part of the episode.
Yeah, it's cool, but one thing I just, again, a little more criticism, and I feel like I'm criticizing the episode a lot, but I still enjoyed it. But and you're right. You had said this a minute ago where it was like, I feel like the more we talk about it, the less I like it. The more I talk about it, maybe the more I'm realizing reasons I didn't like it as much, because there's just so many inconsistencies and little things. But again, when I watched it, I enjoyed it almost more than I'm saying right now.
No, yeah, absolutely. I thought it was, I enjoyed it.
Even the Vision says it kind of, but it doesn't explain. This is illogical. Him keeping Wanda
That's
alive.
The thing. It's stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid. Like
literally, like they need to talk to him just a little bit, and he changes his mind. Like maybe hacking off limbs of the king of Wakanda is a little bit much.
I'm like, why'd you use T'Challa? I guess it's to subdue him so he can't stop him or something. But it's like you can literally just go fly through walls and go find any fucking survivor people anywhere. You can fly as fast as you want and phase through walls. And again, it doesn't make sense to be like, oh, I'm gonna sacrifice X life, like you're already like sacrificing innocent lives to keep Wanda alive. Even if I can understand a little bit of like, the love is making his logic go away. There's no indication that that's what Vision would do, though. He seems to be like a benevolently logical person, where like I just don't think it makes sense that he would do that. And we could just say, well, I guess he does do that, but I mean, I just really don't see it.
But he does do it for whatever reason. And so Scarlet Witch shows up, kills off most of the people that are left. Okoye's dead. Bucky's dead. Kurt dies.
Yeah, which was like, Yeah, it was just like he like just immediately died.
And then Vision, in his self-sacrifice, doesn't deal with Wanda. No, that would be far too much. He could never kill Wanda, but he does rip the Mind Stone out of his head, which apparently it's not the Mind Stone that kept the zombies at bay. It's the Mind Stone in Vision that keeps them at bay.
Yeah.
So the second it gets ripped out, the Mind Stone no longer has any power whatsoever, I guess.
Yeah.
And then just a random person just holds a Infinity Stone, because that whole thing in Guardians about humans not being able to hold a Infinity Stone was just fake, I guess.
Well, that was the Power Stone. So I mean, again, I do see exactly what you're saying right now. However, I might just make a thing like the Power Stone, because it offers a totally different thing. Like it imbues power. A mortal cannot hold that without like a take on the energy. The Mind Stone, maybe I don't know.
The Mind Stone is also what killed off like a bunch of Sokovian volunteers until Wanda and her brother.
Fair.
Yeah,
this is fair. However, just to make another little like, I mean, not like I want to prove you wrong necessarily, but it does still have a little bit of housing on it. If you notice, there was a little bit of like
that makes
so maybe, and that's the only thing. Like, there's a tiny amount of vibranium housing that's maybe keeping it so that they can hold that, and it's not unleashing its full.
But yeah, so the zombie hordes are coming, and Scarlet Witch is still a zombie. So Banner basically does a pretty cool thing of like running straight into danger, basically forcing the Hulk out. And yeah, Hulk sort of buys them time for Peter, T'Challa, Scott in a jar, and the cloak to make it away with the Mind Stone, which is, the cure, and they're going to take it to Wakanda, which is the safe haven. And I think it's at this point, it may have been earlier, where Peter just talks about all the things he's lost. And he's like, Uncle Ben, who none of the people present knew, Iron Man, Happy.
That was actually earlier, right before he loses hope, basically.
Yeah, and you know why I hate it, what I hated about this? He lists off Uncle Ben, Mr. Stark, Happy, and then like into him talking as an afterthought. Oh, and Aunt May. Like he says something that Aunt May told him, but like losing Aunt May, which was very recent and who has had a far greater impact on his life than Happy Hogan at this point, Aunt May was just a freaking afterthought.
Yeah. Well, whoops.
But yeah, but in the end, they have the cure and they're going to Wakanda and everything's going to be all right.
Except fucking blah, 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 blah. Watcher talking, but what will they find in Wakanda? Oh, apparently Thanos is there with all the fucking Infinity Stones except for the Mind Stone, and also he's a zombie.
So this is the part where my brother told me after the episode was over, the thing that he read. And
yes. And the thing that I read was, it was like a comment on like a photo of the new episode or something. So it wasn't even like a thing about the episode. I was trying to avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
But it like just came up and I couldn't miss it. And it was something along the lines of, why was Thanos in Wakanda? There's no Infinity Stone there.
What you told me was, why would Thanos go to Wakanda? And that was enough for me to be like, why would he go to Wakanda? Yeah.
Why would he go to Wakanda? There's nothing in Wakanda for him to go to. Literally.
Yeah. In the movie, he went there because that's where they took Vision.
Yeah, exactly. He was going there for Vision. That's why he went there. And also, he got the time stone, which is actually not even unbelievable, right?
Yeah.
Like, clearly he went to New York or something. My Black Guardians, or God, what are they called again? Like
the Dark Guardians, whatever.
Yeah, whatever they're called. He sent his homies down there to get it. They got killed.
They became zombies.
But Doctor Strange clearly probably had it around his neck, and nobody was just, they were just letting him run around like that, like whatever. So he goes down there, he gets the time stone, right, and gets infected by zombies, or it happens later, because I think they even said Wakanda was safe at that point. So he must have gotten infected by zombies, and then what? why did he go to Wakanda? There's just no fucking reason. It's only because it was really convenient to make and let the episode end like that.
The course of this episode is like what, a day, less than a day.
Yeah, it looks like it's literally like in the morning-ish time and at the end of the day.
I don't know how long Infinity War takes, but Thanos, before coming to Earth, has to go get the Reality Stone. He has to go actually to where the freaking collector is. So he's not spending time on Earth. And if he did go straight to Earth and got zombified, then how did he go to get the Reality Stone from the collector?
Yeah. Exactly. Like what and then again, all the events and all these things are taking place. And
why is he in Wakanda though?
Yeah, but why is he in Wakanda though? It just that makes no sense. And that is probably the cherry on top of all the inconsistencies that this one had. So I would just say that basically, like, this episode was kind of cool for what, they gave us all these heroes and they did all these things, but they just wanted to so badly give us a zombie story and fit all these characters into it that they didn't do it right.
Like, yeah, it's like a teenager's fanfic of like what the zombies should have been.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, I think they just wanted to give us all this stuff and they didn't like actually storyboard this very well and just made it all work. And they were just like, wouldn't it be crazy if at the end they were taking it to zombie Thanos? Wouldn't zombie Thanos be crazy?
And you know what? Without it being, without the why is he here thing happening, it was cool. I was like, oh, damn.
Exactly, then, right? It does seem like a cool moment, but yeah, and then you just think like, why the fuck is he even there? Like
I legit was just like so like hype. I was like, you know what? That was cool. And then I turned to you and you were just like, yeah, but why is Thanos there? And I was like, shit.
So and here's the thing, is that I think they just really wanted to show us zombie Thanos because they could have made the ending, they're on their way there and then just cut to Thanos. Like cut to Thanos, either like wherever he was or just getting the Soul Stone or something like that, or being on his way and being like, just one more left or something like that, like some foreboding.
He has
like
to get the Soul Stone too. Yeah, like this is like, yeah, he's not just straight back to Earth with all of the freaking Infinity Stones. Yeah. Wow.
But basically it's like, let's say whatever, maybe it did take more time than we perceived. Maybe they're in that subway station car up in the webs for like a couple days or something like that. And in this new, like the cosmic ripples of time, all the things that changed on Earth make things change out in the universe and he gets the stuff quicker or faster, blah, blah, blah. We can say all that, right? But like what actually makes sense is just to show us he's on his way, right? Like he's coming to get the Mind Stones. Now our heroes, oh my God, can they stop the zombie thing if he takes the Mind Stone? It's like, that's like a really fair and easy one to do. They could even show him showing up in New York or something.
Yeah. And I think that would like him like touching down in New York, like, where are my children?
Yeah, exactly. Like, where are my children? And then I don't know, like still tiny Hank Pym. Hank Pym jumps up and bites his neck,
Yeah.
That would be even a better way to just show us like, oh, then zombie Thanos, occurs. Yeah, like, we get it. But they were just like, no, we want everybody to see zombie Thanos with an Infinity Gauntlet on. Like,
yeah. But yeah, it was neat. It was neat to watch.
Hell, dude, they literally could have just put zombie Thanos in New York as a zombie, and it would have made actual sense. Like,
yeah, and he would still have all of the other stones.
Yeah. So. Whatever. Let's move on to a better episode.
All right, yeah. Episode 6. What if Killmonger saved Tony Stark? Like we've all been asking this ever since it came out in 2008.
Yeah.
Why didn't Killmonger save Tony?
Yeah. So in this episode, when Tony would have gotten blown up by his missile and like taken captive, instead Killmonger literally shows up and throws a missile away and saves him. And actually says that he's sent by the 10 rings. So I like how, we just got Shang-Chi dropping and apparently Killmonger's was in cahoots or sent or had some information, whatever, from the 10 rings. So we get a reference. That
I thought he said the 10 rings are on their way. Like, they're the bad guys though.
Oh, like they were the ones that actually did the thing. Oh, okay. Actually, that makes a lot more sense. Maybe that's what he meant.
Yeah.
So he ingratiates himself with Tony. Tony's like, hey, you know what? You've done great. I want you to be like part of my, security council now. And even while he's being awarded for saving Tony, he literally shows that Obadiah, was the one that, executed all this and actually planned for this to happen, and gets him taken away, and then is made his COO. So we see Killmonger kind of like making his way into Tony's inner circle and to work together with him.
And we get Pepper like very like reasonably being like, hey, yo, this is fishy. This guy's too good to be true. And we even see Pepper like going to Rhodey to get some military deets on this guy, and his record comes up fairly squeaky clean. And but Pepper's still like, I don't know, there's something about this dude.
Yeah. And I like that they were dropping in the Pepper stuff, because I was sitting there thinking in my head, I'm like, oh, maybe like Killmonger really is like, I know that Killmonger has sinister, like, objectives, but I was like, maybe this is like a different, like he's doing this so that he can do something different.
This is 2008 Killmonger. Maybe he's less disillusioned at this point, which I honestly don't think they take enough points to recognize that this should be a 2008 Killmonger.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like, I really do think to myself, I'm like,
10 years before the events of Black Panther.
Yeah, but is Black Panther chronologically 10 years before as well?
I mean, I presume Black Panther must take place in 2018 roughly. It has to take place after Civil War, which I think is solidly placed in like 2016. And Iron Man 1 is definitely 2008.
Right, of course. Yeah, so I mean, that is a great point. Like, what
because we get the reveal later in the episode that he has all of the scars from all the kills. So all of those kills happened basically 10 years before the events of Black Panther, and in that 10 years, like he doesn't seem to have that many more scars.
So one thing, now, as long as his age is actually what needs to make more sense to me, can he be 10 years younger and this all still makes sense?
I looked up Michael B. Jordan's age, and with him having a doctor's thesis, no, because he would have been 21. But assuming that he, like Michael B. Jordan, could be playing like a older character than he is, then it's enough that at that age he'd be roughly in his 20s, and like let's say he's a genius, which he is. Maybe he got through his doctorate early, because that's what all the Marvel characters do. Yeah,
exactly. Okay, so that it can make a little bit of timeline sense, because that's the only thing I would think of, right? Is not really, because you could easily explain that we know that Killmonger is eventually like kicked out of the military, right? And he's just like a mercenary, and he's like trying to execute, sort of his plan with Wakanda and all that during that time. So that 10 years could be off the books, right? Yeah. He doesn't actually need to be, the fact that it's happening like 10 years earlier than what we see in Black Panther.
But this is prior to him leaving the military. He is a present like lieutenant in the military, which here's another thing. He stays lieutenant to like the end of the episode. Mm-hmm. Like he's leading the drone army at some point, and they're just like, hey, lieutenant. Yeah. And lieutenant is what Tony calls him at the beginning of the episode too.
So he is fully still in the army, hasn't been like kicked out or
but like he doesn't get any military promotions at any point.
Yeah. But so basically, he ingratiates himself with Tony, and then kind of like gets across the idea of like, oh, hey, I have this idea for
unmanned
drones. And him and Tony work on it together and start trying to, make it happen.
It's basically a Gundam.
Yeah, literally a Gundam. And he even says, I like anime. And I'm like, nod to Michael B. Jordan being a guy that likes anime.
I mean, like people our age liking anime.
Yeah, they're just reaching out to our culture. Like, oh, you guys like anime? Cool. Fuck yeah. Even though the look of that drone is just so completely, it just seems, when you know that he could have made an Iron Man, like they're literally Iron Man drones. So like human shaped drones that look equally effective. Like, and you could have made that like.
But hey, Tony was like, you know what? Let's make your dreams come true. You saved my life.
Yeah. Plus, giving a little credit that Tony's first iteration of Iron Man was a giant, bulky, like massive.
But he made that in a cave.
Yeah, but Obadiah then made a even bigger version of it when he made his version of the Iron Man suit.
Yeah, but Obadiah is no one likes him.
Yeah. But so they work on this thing and they make this Gundam-like drone that has a problem with powering. And Killmonger already has the solution, which is vibranium. So he gives him the ring to experiment on, and he's like, I know where we can get more. And then, they sort of execute like a roundabout way to get a hold of him with vibranium, which is basically the same as it was in, Avengers 2, consulting with Claw.
They explain why it makes sense, but it still didn't make full sense to me. I was like, okay, so like Rhodey. It's okay to deal with a black market as long as Stark does it through Rhodey, and Rhodey had no issues going through the black market to buy this stuff.
Yeah, because the American government could do what they want. So
yeah, but like Rhodey always seemed like a good, like a moral person. Like if he saw corruption around him, he wouldn't want to like deal. And I don't think he would want to further Tony's like doing bad stuff. I don't know. That's the read I get from him. The Don Cheadle version of Rhodey. Maybe no, even the freaking Iron Man 1 Rhodey seemed like kind of like a moral, upstanding dude.
I think that Tony sells it to him easily by saying, we're working on something that will save American lives.
I guess.
And like as a military man, if you tell, I mean, even if it's, hey, you need to get a rare material that can only be gotten through a black market thing. And you can get government sanctions so that we can like put drones that will save American lives on the field. I don't know that any I think you'd be very hard pressed to be a military man or even just a person in general, that wants to save the lives of your troops by just going to do this deal.
Anyways, it's a double cross.
Yeah. Anyways, it's a perfectly planned scheme by Killmonger to get T'Challa in one place and basically pin. Basically, he kills Rhodey and T'Challa in one go and blames it on each other, like that T'Challa killed him and that vice versa, and securing all the vibranium as well.
Yes. And but when he returns, Tony knows what he did because
he's a genius. And
yeah, something
whatever.
He had some way of watching that whole scene play out, and he reveals that to him. And yeah, he six the Gundam that he was able to finish using the vibranium he was given on Killmonger, but Killmonger still had the vibranium spear that he got from Claw and is able to take out the Gundam. And honestly, I was like, you know what? This scene makes sense. And especially after talking about that last episode, I was like, this played out exactly as it would. Tony would think that he has the upper hand and he's got this dude cornered, and not realize that the spear he has is basically all he needs to take down this drone, especially because he knows exactly what this drone can do because it's based off of his own moves.
Yeah. It's one thing is that over time, Tony Stark becoming Iron Man, a part of his journey and his growth is that he learns to overcome his arrogance and his hubris.
Yes.
But Tony never makes that journey in this. And I mean, this is a very short amount of time. Like Tony basically is the same Tony that was in the very start of Iron Man 1.
If anything, he's a worse Tony because he's been
slightly influenced even to the darker side a little bit. I mean, I think he's the same guy that was. He was incredibly arrogant and self-righteous.
I mean, his reaction to almost dying in war was, we need to hit war harder and like stronger. We need to be more aggressive, which is, the opposite of the Tony that we have grown to know and love.
I think the Watcher just puts it well, is that his experience is what really made him recognize the error of his ways and for him to be on the journey to grow. And simple as that, because of that, he is still arrogant and he still has hubris. So he thinks that, that because he's so smart, he's too smart, but he doesn't realize you're in the room with someone that is actually equally an equal genius. But is also combat ready and has a drive and a purpose and intent far greater than yours. Tony, you're just existing and you're making weapons and doing all this stuff, but you don't he doesn't have some profound purpose.
Yeah.
Killmonger has in his heart a drive and a purpose and something that's been guiding him all this time. Yeah. And that's that's more dangerous than, your intelligence.
So now that Killmonger beats the drone and kills Tony and wipes off Jarvis. But before we wash away Tony, it had to be brought up at some point. Not having Robert Downey Jr. voice Tony Stark just makes it it just makes the character less everything.
Oh, dude, totally. Yeah. It's very noticeable. Even if I'm ignoring it, I'm just accepting what it is.
The wildest thing is that they do the things of showing clips of Tony on his journey that made him the better person. And it shows him doing the I am Iron Man snap at the end of Endgame. I'm like, this like even like the little bit of voice you get of him doing I'm Iron Man, it's just so off. It's just unpleasant.
Yeah, not cool, not optimal.
Yeah, and he's not the only one. I'm pretty sure Pepper's not Gwyneth Paltrow, which
also not her. I mean, this one's is full of people not being themselves.
But it has mostly the correct casting, I'd say.
Does it? I'm not sure, but nonetheless, he kills Tony. He executes him, and he leaves the same spear. So it looks like it was a hit by the Dora Milaje. So again, just more evidence that it's Wakanda's coming after you. And using that evidence, they use it, the military fucking seizes control of Stark Industries and authorizes them to go forward with making a ton of their drones using the vibranium that they recovered. So vibranium drones. And they make them, get them all set up and everything. And during this time, as they're really going to...
real quick, the military just taking over Stark Industries, like, there's just something about that where it's like, I guess they could, but like, what the fuck? That was just kind of like, that kind of honestly annoyed me. Like, because I guess theoretically it could happen, but like, I really just don't want to live in a world where I think that the U.S. military can just like take over like the most wealthy, powerful like business and just like basically like, okay, yeah, you're under us now. We're just doing that. And like I'm not the government is bad kind of person, but like it's the military taking over like this private, like hyper advanced, like rich, like company. And like it's never really said like who Stark left control of the company under, because let's be honest, like obviously it would have gone to Pepper, right? Like Pepper should be taken like ownership of Stark Industries.
At that time, Pepper's just his assistant though.
But let's think about who Tony Stark was. Like if he was going to leave his empire to anybody, I imagine he put in place that it went to Pepper because Pepper was running the business already.
I don't know that that's entirely true. I think that Tony Stark had at that time is not. Again, he wasn't. This is an arrogant Tony Stark.
Look, he didn't want to. He didn't think that he was in love with her at this point. But like, I think I think Iron Man, like even early on, like he recognizes that Pepper's kind of like running things. I think like he maybe doesn't always show her that respect, but like, at the very least, who does this company go to?
Here's the thing. Well, I don't necessarily, I wouldn't say for sure that he has left it to Pepper at that point, but there's a board of directors. Like this is a company that is like a public.
Yeah, she even brings up the board of the directors.
Yeah, exactly. This is a publicly traded company. So them seizing it does kind of go through like wait, like there's a bunch of people that own shares in this company. Like, how are you going to just take it?
What I'm saying is like Stark is the majority shareholder, presumably.
Yeah, which means that, but he has no next of kin, which means that his shares go back to the company, I think, or something. Like, I don't know what the fuck happens. I know it doesn't. You are essentially right. It makes no sense.
This is a rich man. He left it to somebody.
Yeah,
and the closest person in his life is Pepper.
It's probably like Happy, because Happy's his best friend.
Rhodey's his best friend.
So I think it's either Happy or Rhodey or, something more like that. Or it could be some combination of them. But Pepper is not like, she might have been the closest she's running the company, but that's just like she's a very good assistant. And so I don't think that he leaves her the company and makes her run the company and stuff at that point. I think their love develops. Like,
I'm not saying it as a love thing. I'm saying it as a pragmatic. Tony's like, who's the second smartest person in my life besides myself? I think he thinks it's Pepper.
Then why does he make Kilmonger his COO?
Because
that's again that right there. Like the Tony that we're seeing right here already was like, I'm gonna make this guy I just met just because he saved my life and stuff run part of my company. That's not like what he's right. Why didn't he make Pepper that right there if he valued her so much?
He's riding the high of almost dying, I'd say.
Yeah. So him thinking, I think it's out the window.
Yeah. Whatever. Yeah.
But yeah, the military taking over doesn't really make any sense. I don't know that's even like a thing that they can do. Like eminent domain. I know that like the government has the ability to take over like land when they need it, but to say they took over a business, I do not think that's that's a thing. I don't like that. That is like not an American thing that can be done. I don't know. I have no idea.
For what it's worth, this is actually a tangent back to the voice acting thing. Most of the people are voiced by their actual people. Jon Favreau's Happy, Michael B. Jordan is Killmonger, Angela Bassett is the Queen, Andy Serkis is Claw,
right. Yeah,
Don Cheadle, yeah.
But yeah, so it's whatever. The Millie takes over. That's kind of like what I don't know why that's the thing that happens. Like, why couldn't Stark Industries just go forward with making the drones anyways or something? I guess it had to be like, we need to force them to do this now. This needs to happen.
Yeah. And then Killmonger is like put like in like some level of charge. There's like this scene where like Killmonger has all the drones and is meeting with Claw like in the middle of like a desert. And I'm like, where's the tie in here? Like, is Killmonger just alone with all of these drones talking to Claw? Like, is he in charge, but he's still a lieutenant? It's very little things, but
yeah. But you know, basically Killmonger goes with Claw to see where Wakanda is and see the force field and you know, the illusion, which the force field is not always up. It's actually not a force field. It's an illusion. Most of the time the force field is a thing they activate. Usually it's just an illusion. Yeah. And he goes there and basically uses that opportunity to kind of execute what he does in the Black Panther movie, which is, you know, double cross and kill Claw and bring him in as the
but it's played off differently because instead of T'Challa sitting at the throne, it's his father.
Yep. And because of that, this way, I mean, his father, and it's this is a really cool and interesting interaction, because this is what we can imagine. Like, his father knows I killed my brother, his father. And so he probably feels like, I left this boy, but he's returned to us and is still loyal to us. So he probably like is like, so like, wow. And he brought this enemy of our state to us and is coming to help us and still be a part of us. Like, he probably wants to go out of his way to make him welcome and make him feel part of the family and everything. Yeah. I could see him like wanting to go as far as he can to make up for what, you know, sort of what he had to do and what that is.
And then, yeah, like Eric basically does like the double play of like, hey, you know, these drones are coming to attack us. But if we get them inside the borders of Wakanda, then the link, the satellite link will be cut off by your guys' force shield. And then, we'll just be given all of this vibranium of all these drones that we can use, and basically, more or less, it's implied that all of the vibranium most of the vibranium that exists outside of Wakanda will have been returned to Wakanda.
Yeah, exactly. They let him in the force field. He shuts him off. So it's like, oh, it worked, but then turns him back on so that they end up having to fight them. But because the Wakandans are very prepared, and these are just literally just like, they are essentially just kind of mindless drones.
Yeah.
You know, that can fight and stuff. But Wakandans have highly advanced technology and are brave warriors, and they
have vibranium.
Yeah, and they have vibranium. So they just cut through the metal of their the armor and everything relatively easily. And
Killmonger gets his shot of glory to go out on the battlefield and fight alongside them, like earning the trust of like the Wakandan army.
Yep. And he does exactly that. He looks like his own kind of hero to the Wakandan people, and they are victorious, and they return all the vibranium to them. And
he has bestowed the power of the Black Panther.
Yeah. And so basically, I mean, we see that like the end of this episode is that Killmonger kind of perfectly executes this thing so that now and at the end, he talks to the king. I don't know. We know T'Challa. What was the king's name? T'Chaka. Yeah. He talks to the king and says, he's like, you know, our brothers and sisters out there could use our help too. And so now that he has the forces of America already vying with Wakanda, he has executed his plan so perfectly that now he has mobilized Wakanda to want to go out and help the people, you know, the you know, other African Americans of the world, and basically like try and bring Wakanda,
African Americans,
the Americans, the whatever. I don't know, you know, like other black people. Help his people, their people, and has brought to himself honor in the eyes of Wakanda to now be the Black Panther, so that he can now just go out and strike out as he wishes to be further even more lethal.
But in becoming the Black Panther, he is forced to face. Originally, when he took the Black Panther stuff, he had a vision and saw his father. Mm-hmm. But this time, he went to like the spirit forest thing that T'Challa went to, and comes across T'Challa.
Yeah,
and basically confronts him like, "Hey, You acquired this power like in through unjust means. I can't remember his exact language, and that power it's going to catch up to you.
Yeah, he's like, this will catch up to you. Like, was it worth it? And he's like, yeah, now I have the power I need to do what I got to do. And I just like, as much as it was evil and it's bad and he killed T'Challa and like he did all these like terrible things, like I just can't help but respect that, like, again, like just the brilliance of his plan, like how he thought so many steps ahead, and he beat out like other very intelligent, people. He beat Tony at his own game. He beat T'Challa, and those are two considerable like forces.
In the movie Black Panther, the only reason Killmonger lost is because of
he didn't understand fully like the technology and stuff.
I was gonna say because of the I can't remember his name, but it's a Winston Duke's character, the gorilla people.
The gorilla people. Oh yeah.
It's because they saved T'Challa. That's the only reason, because T'Challa didn't die.
Yeah,
that's the only reason. Like he didn't properly finish off T'Challa.
Yep.
If he didn't come back, Killmonger succeeds, has the Wakandan army. They go out, they have the vibranium, they take over.
Yeah, actually, yeah, you're right. It's precisely that. And so that's what I was even thinking that too. I was just like, I mean, yeah, the thing in Black Panther, it's like Killmonger really did succeed. He could have just kept going, except that, of course, it's the Black Panther movie and we need to see him re-succeed and stuff. But it was a very much like somewhat of a Deus Ex Machina. I mean, I know it's like, well, he didn't really die, he just fell off the water, and he was at least strong enough to survive being carried, down the river to those people, and they saved him. But it was like, okay, these people happened to catch him in the river and save him. Okay, all right, we'll just believe that then, But nonetheless, but yeah, I just love that he executed this plan so brilliantly, and it all just came together. And at the end, he's like, yeah, I'm Black Panther. I'm in honor in Wakanda. We're going to go out and execute my plan. We're going to take back over this world,
And over in America, it looks like the plan is to just put every nuke they have trying to blow up Wakanda, which I don't think is going to work.
Yeah. Like other than, I mean, here's the thing though, mutually assured destruction. Like the fact that is that they have, but okay.
I think the vibranium force shield's more powerful than the human nukes. I think
but is it more powerful than radiation? Does it prevent radiation from entering their area? Is it going to literally, even if it does it literally kill every piece of vegetation and litter the entire surrounding area with radiation, so none of them can ever leave the bounds of Wakanda again?
This is valid.
Yeah. So that's mutually assured destruction. However, when you have Killmonger, a ghost, like a black ops, like ghost, he said they didn't say black ops. They said he was part of like a ghost cell. So like something even deeper than black ops, I guess. Like this is an accomplished American lieutenant in, black ops that now is the Black Panther. So he has supernatural strength and speed.
And he's super smart and is aware of, but
he has a vibranium suit that can, like, I can see him just going in and being like, oh, knock out and take all the nuclear weapon codes. I have all of America's nuclear weapon codes now.
But like he is presently in Wakanda, and it seemed like America was like prepped and loaded to do it, which is it's kind of wild to think that like all of these decisions are like as portrayed in this episode are just kind of being made by the one guy.
Yeah. Well, I think we're just seeing him because that's, again, they're just giving us the face we know. We don't want to see like the president or random people making decisions. They want to show us Thunderbolt Ross because he's the guy. But we do kind of see like they're basically mobilizing like a military against it, like Avenge Iron Man. They're putting up a poster of Avenge Iron Man, which is probably a new, like a marketing slogan. They're like, the Wakandans literally killed this popular guy that everybody likes. Let's go get them now.
Yeah. So like, this is like a pretty messed up situation, but in the end we get, and Pepper's not happy about this. And we get like in Wakanda, we get Shuri, like having some doubt. And Shuri. Yeah, Shuri. Having some doubts. And we see that Shuri managed to get into Stark Industries facilities and find the evidence that Tony had that Killmonger didn't know to get rid of, that Killmonger killed Tony.
Yep. And yeah. Oh, one thing they do definitely like make it pretty obvious that Shuri is much younger, like much shorter, like is like a, some kind of, she looks like she's 14 or something,
which is weird because
13 or 14.
She should actually be younger. She should be like 6 or 7.
Yeah, maybe she's supposed to be 6 or 7. She's just super smart. Like she's also a genius.
Yeah.
I don't know, but she does look like, I mean, she's certainly quite young. She's like a like a child or like, you know, a preteen at least.
Yeah, but she's still a genius. She's still like Tony Stark level smart.
Yeah. But yeah, and so that's basically the end of the episode. We see that there's like a repercussion that could happen and occur. And you know, I guess there's room for an Avenger style thing. But again, this is Iron Man, you know, so like the only Avengers like people that can exist are I don't know if Black Widow's been, you know, drafted into their ranks.
Well, but yeah, Black Widow was already, because Black Widow is present in Iron Man 2 to recruit Tony.
Yeah, I guess she at that point she's been
Black
drafted.
Widow, Hawkeye, Thor, Incredible Hulk, Captain America. All of these people are still becoming Avengers or are already a frozen Avenger.
But the Wakanda threat is a now.
Yes.
And the Thor happening and the Hulk being brought in and the all that's a later.
We just don't see Nick Fury or how SHIELD is dealing with this whole thing. So
yeah,
we don't know what the sitch is there. But I think in thinking about it, my first reaction to the ending of, oh, Pepper and Shuri are going to save the day, I was just kind of like, that's kind of a weak ending. Like I almost would have preferred it if they didn't have this at the end, like that he just kind of gets everything he wants, like showing this is how he'll be defeated. But like, so you guys couldn't figure out how he gets defeated. You just want us to decide how this works. It almost felt like it was setting it up for another episode of this, which honestly, I probably wouldn't mind, but it would be less satisfying to watch him be taken down.
Yeah. So
I get why it ended there, but like, it just felt like I
think they've done that in plenty of the episodes where they just leave us to like, that's the whole point is like, they're only showing us this little, you know, point right here. And they're like, hey, look, this is the point. Like, hey, something will come back to bite you kind of thing. And this is something coming back to bite you.
I just think it works better in other episodes. I think so far my favorite ending, because all of them sort of have the ending of, oh, but this, except for the first episode. I think Sharon Carter just ends with like how you would expect it to end.
Yeah.
But I think the best ending is probably for the T'Challa as Star-Lord one, where it's revealed that all these good things occurred, but we still have the actual Star-Lord, the Chris Pratt. I can't remember his name.
Lol. Yeah, I can't remember his name right now either. Sorry, guy.
But Ego shows up and is gonna
and the world's gonna end. So
exactly,
everything's end. The universe is gonna end.
Yeah, it's just so simple that you know exactly what's gonna happen. Whereas in this one, it's like, oh, Pepper and Shuri are gonna stop the U.S. military and the Wakandan army, which have both basically decided on their war paths. They're gonna listen to this lady who used to be Tony Stark's assistant and this like literal
and a Wakandan child. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
Like, so
like the military sees Shuri and is like, oh, you're the princess of Wakanda. We're holding you captive.
Yeah. Well, you are a literal enemy of our state, so you would be a great bargaining chip at this point.
Exactly.
Nonetheless, yeah, there's a million ways that could go. You're right.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, it's whatever. I think it was just they drop it in this to illustrate the point, like something's coming back to bite them. But I still really like that episode. I mean, I just
it's a good episode, and it's Killmonger.
Yeah, Killmonger's just a great villain, and he was given more. Like I just got to see him execute so much more of like who he is as a villain. Also, you know, you really like you kind of get it in the movies, but like here, I think they really bring out the point that his outfit is supposed to look like a freaking the Vegeta, like from Dragon Ball.
Oh
yeah, that's literally cool. Like a white, like they make it more like in the movies it's like metal and stuff, but like it's like a whitish metal in the animation with the, you know, the blue under and the yellow straps. And I was like, yeah, I'm seeing it more, Mr. Likes anime, like. So
that's a cool note, actually. I didn't catch that.
Yeah. I mean, because I think they did that in the movies on purpose too. Like,
I didn't pick up. I
way more subtle.
Yeah, I didn't pick up on that in the movies, and I didn't hear anything about that. But yeah, so
I mean, maybe that's just my idea. I don't know. Like, I always thought that.
Oh yeah. Well, hey, anime.
Yeah, anime. But yeah. So I mean, I think we kind of went over a lot of the points we could talk about as we were doing the recap.
Yeah, we did it. I think we covered most of everything. I don't know how long this season of What If is going to be, but of what we have so far, would you say that episode 6 is your favorite?
No, episode 4, the Doctor Strange episode is still my favorite.
Okay.
Still think that one was the coolest. This one might be like my third or my second now. I think there's some things about it like that still lose me. I have to really kind of sit there and think more about like where they rank now. I know that the zombies one, there's only 6 episodes, right? So I think,
no offense, Sharon Carter is probably my least favorite.
And it's not because it's bad. It's just because it's basically
just the movie.
It's just a retelling of the movie. It's not really a new story.
Yeah.
And that's really why it's like this series is so cool because we're seeing such totally different things playing out, and that's why it's really good.
Actually, I feel like no. It like I want to like go back to the episode. I'm like, oh, but it has like the cool like the old Iron Man piloted by Steve, but
Hydra
like
Stomper.
Yes, yeah, and that's cool. But then you're like, oh, but it's still like a lot of replaying, just kind of like the exact same scenes, like the train, and yeah.
So I mean, if I have to kind of rank them up right now, I'm actually, you know what? After us having this whole conversation, right, I'm actually gonna put zombies at the bottom right now. And this might change. I'm saying that like this is just based on like where I'm at right this moment. If I have to rank them, I'm
right
still putting,
now, I actually think I kind of agree with you.
Yeah, and again, let me just say though that when I say it's at the bottom, I don't think any of these episodes are bad.
No,
that one just has the most inconsistencies that make it like.
Quite frankly, Zombies is probably the most entertained I was watching any of these episodes, but I can still recognize that it's a bit problematically constructed.
Like literally, like they could have just done that episode better and it would have been like it could have been the best episode.
Yes, it could have been, and that's what makes it the worst.
Yeah, exactly. It's like
I think did I say Sharon Carter? It's Peggy.
Peggy Carter. When? Oh, did you mean when you were talking about Captain Carter?
Yes, Captain Carter.
Yeah,
I probably did.
Easy mistake. Whatever.
But yeah, so the Captain Carter, Peggy Carter episode, I think they executed that about as perfectly as they could. It's just kind of like it's the most pedestrian, the most basic story they could execute. Like the rest of them are just kind of so go out there, or they're just like, wow, I never even considered that. It's such a minor change basically that it doesn't feel that crazy.
Yeah, I like that I just like that we're being told like really fantastical stories in What If. And so that one being not like so, I mean it's just a slight difference. So that I think that one puts it really probably at like number 5 for me in the order.
Yeah.
So Doctor Strange episode is my number 1. I think T'Challa as Star-Lord is maybe my number 2, and this is my number 3, number 6 with Killmonger. And then I think the Earth's Mightiest Heroes being killed and destroyed is number 4. So that's kind of where I'm at right now.
I think Earth's Mightiest Heroes is my number 1. I think what was the one that you like? Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is my number 4. T'Challa Star-Lord is my number 3. I actually probably put the Killmonger episode number 2.
Yeah, and that'll probably change. Like just right now, I have to put them in the order. That's where we're at. So in reflection, they might change, or when another one comes
I think
out.
on average, that makes the Killmonger episode like the Killmonger and the T'Challa episode are like sort of tied for our combined favorite.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, the 2 Black Panther episodes.
Yeah, fire. Yeah. So I think that's all for me.
I think that's pretty much all for me as well.
Well, cool. Until next time, folks. This has been Robert
and Ryan.
Have a good one.
Yep.